Hello and welcome to Let's Play in the Space 2, Series 8, Episode number 40. I'm JC Proton, and we are picking up at the beginning of turn 106. We are playing a standard faction of the Unfallen on endless difficulty in a normal speed game. In this turn, we will be invading the Genimos and Nos star systems that are controlled by the United Empire. I expect we're going to take control of Genimos and Nos. We'll likely just pillage. In addition to that, we are trying to chase down the photo bomber. So we're working on that. We have a fleet that's been crossing the deep, dark, vast, empty central galactic void. And is blazing its way across that emptiness and is heading towards Duce. Duce will arrive there next turn. This is where the photobomber is. And also to assist in catching, we have this hero here with the Bastion. Speaking of the Bastion, a large carrier type class ship, at least in size, we also are going to be designing our new carrier ship, which I believe is going to be significantly more powerful than the Bastion. So that's going to be pretty cool. It'll be nice to be able to say, yeah, remember when we thought the Bastion was so awesome? You know, not that it's not a good ship. It's a good ship, especially for when it shows up in the game. But now I think our new ships are going to be significantly stronger. And then aside from that, we're also going to be attacking here and there where we can over in Craver space, just chipping away at their civilian population. If Craver civilians are actually a thing, I don't know that they have such a thing, but anyway, the Craver populations. And we also have this fleet, which is finally assembled and ready to come explore the curiosities at Remor and endure and defeat these pirates should they attack. So all of that is on the slate for today. We could start, let's start with this just because we're there. Sure. So we'll just merge all this together. We've got 7 movement points. Let's just do it and watch them not even attack us, right? Excuse me. We'll see. Yeah, apparently we could have done it the whole time and they wouldn't have even attacked us, maybe? Okay, yep, Endless Foundries, Orichalcix, and let's see what else we got. 100 Empire Science, okay. Cool, okay, well, let's take a quick check here. This guy can attack some of these dudes, apparently. Apparently. 3 population. Kaboom. Yeah, see, these guys don't have anybody to attack, but there's an inbound fleet here. I'm just going to take a peek here, going to take a look back this way, and a look over here. There's that invasion going. The Craver fleets flew past. They dropped off a bunch of fleets, troops. They dropped off all their troops at Seganis, which was like, I want to say it was a couple thousand troops or something like that. Over 1,000 for sure. Anyway, that battle is ongoing. Looks like I don't know. We'll see if our Mesto can fight them off, but they're outnumbered pretty badly. So it looks like this is probably going to become a Craver system. So let's see, what else do we have? Let's just kind of quickly check through here. Oh yeah, okay, and we're colonizing and entwining systems over here. Okay, cool. So let's go from Jundur down to Arcab. Down to, over to, maybe, up to, whatever. And we'll entwine at Arcab, and that should be done in one turn. And from Ranas, we'll come over to M2-9. And we'll entwine there. And that should be done in one turn. Okay, great. So we're also going to be colonizing. Great. Okay, so let's do Genimos first. We've got that siege down, and there's Nos. So let's go ahead and invade at Genimos. And we'll do a guerrilla. We'll try to minimize the damage we do. Cool. And I think I'm going to go to the mode of only displaying one invasion per video if it's against the same opponent, because they all look the same, basically. Okay, so yeah, since we recently pillaged Genimos, the pillage isn't really worth much. So we're just going to go ahead and occupy. Cool. So what's that one look like? Pretty good amount of stuff there. Pretty good structures, nice. And I'll get everything queued up there off camera. And we'll just throw a bunch of improvements in queue. Excuse me. Population looks like it's almost all Sheridan. There are a couple of 2 Guardians on this one planet. Interesting. Alright, and at Nos, we will invade as well. And we will go guerrilla, will not watch it. Should be about the same as the other. 10,000 troops in reserve. Whew. Wow. Okay, let's see. So Nos's fate. 3,300 dust, 12 titanium, 0.3 hyperium, 0.4 adamantium, and 3.7 antimatter if I choose to pillage, which is what I'm going to do. I am going to pillage it. But before I pillage it, I'm going to remember to move my fleets out of there, anything that I want to move. So let's see, this guy is going to take out that civilian fleet. All right. So we'll move fleets out before we do the pillage, and then we'll move other stuff across. Those guys are not able to make it to Heracles. Alright, so I'll move all of these. Over. Alright, let's just check through the messages here. See what else we have going on. Okay, we got Jundur. Yeah. So let's go ahead and take a system. Take this system. Snow, Arctic, Toxic, Snow, Frozen. Frozen gas, that's 4 turns to colonize normally. A Toxic would be 3, an Arctic would be 3. And the Snows, I think, are 2 or 3 turns. So, since the longest one would to colonize will normally be the Frozen, I'll just take that one. And we'll start with a system upgrade. Let's see, Toxic is 3 turns, Snow is 2 turns, Arctic is 2 turns. Oh, Arctic's only 2. Nice. Sorry about the coughing and sniffling. Okay, so that's 6 population, that's 4 population, that's 5 population. That has Dust Halo, though, that's good. Okay, anyway, I'll get that set up off camera. Let's go over to Ranas, the frogs system. I say that because Ranas means frogs in Spanish. Huge gas, temperate with quadrinix deposits, and a huge ash and a huge gas warm. We're definitely going to take the temperate gas that has the quadrinix deposits. Nice. Let's see, we're at plus 11 per turn and plus 7.5, so that's going to go up some more. So now it's 12.5 per turn instead of 11.5 per turn, so that's good. Again, I'll get these queued up off camera. Let's see, that one takes 3 turns to do the ash and 4 turns to do the gas giant. Okay, and we'll get the rest of that done off camera. So on this one, I ended up loading this particular playthrough, this one from save, and he says he's now loyal towards me for Horatio. Before he was like devious or treacherous or, you know, whatever, sneaky and stuff. So I guess maybe he's warming up to me. I don't know. He's kind of a fair weather friend, man. You know, depending which way the wind blows or the weather changes, he is more or less friendly. We're still at a negative 4.4 pressure trend. He can make a demand on me at this point. So That one's cordial, loyal, worried. He's worried because he's just outnumbered. The Vodyani are worried because they have this whole alliance at war with them. So, yeah, that's not a good situation for them. Um, and let's see here. You know, speaking of laws, I forgot to ever pass a law over here. So one thing I did off camera was I went through and I tried out the laws. Um, I looked at the benefits from Cram Exam. I looked at thick skins. Thick skins didn't really make hardly any difference whatsoever with my pressure trend with Horatio. I figured it would make it significantly better. I think maybe it drops it from like a -4.5 to a minus. Maybe it took it to a 2.5. I don't remember it being that effective. Maybe, but anyway, it's still not enough to really make a difference. I checked these all out. Brains over Bucks gives a little bit more research than Cram Exam, but I lose my my dust income drops by like 4 or 5 thousand, so it's not as good of a trade, considering that I have so much extra approval that I can run Cram Exam and it has no impact on my overall approval. Um, and I checked my precious, my precious. That increases luxury resource deposit gains. The amount that it increased was like my dust water went from +9 to +12. My gossamer went from +20 to +25, and then my transvine and deciduous trees went up by. The deciduous trees was less than the transvine. I think the transvine went up by like about 10 or 12. It was pretty nice because of the 12 deposits, but the deciduous trees didn't go up as much because I don't have as many of those deposits on systems yet, because I still have to finish taking them from the United Empire. So it was a lot of. You see my influence. I'm at -2676 from law upkeep, so it was like an additional 2,000 upkeep, roughly 1900, something like that, for what felt like not really that many more luxury resource deposits that are not super important to me right now yet. So I decided that that one's probably not worth running right now. So after considering all of them, I'm going to go with just running Cram Exam. So right now our research is at a production of 55,808 per turn. And we'll pass this, and I remember that it brings it up like 5 or 6,000, something like that. And it was fine. So now it's Cram Exam, and we're at 62,391. 391. So that's a nice increase, and the impact to our approval is negligible. Like Jeffrey Draper 4019 had mentioned, he's like, yeah, I'd like to see the hard stats. You're at like a +500 or something on your approval because you just don't have that many penalties. So yeah, I mean, right now we're at +575 from Guardians Discovered, and we have a -160 from Overcolonization now at this point. He'd made that comment a few videos back. So yeah, we can expand a lot more. You can easily expand a lot more. I think I'm gonna probably get started on building another fleet of vine ships. I think I'm gonna have another fleet of vine ships assemble over here at Fidus, and we'll entwine it, and then come up here and start entwining here. And I've got this ship here at Arcab. He's probably going to run around and start entwining I'm guessing Kamos, Duyel, Sathras, Aquarius, maybe Hath, Merapi. Kind of depends on where. So anyway, I'm going to have one entwining Horatio systems here. And then the one that's at Ranas that's moved over to M29, I'm going to have him just start trucking around over here. So we're going to see what happens as we entwine the Horatio systems and see if they tolerate it or not. If they do, great. We'll entwine the Lumeris, see if they tolerate it. If they're tolerating it okay, then we'll bring military fleets up and we'll start fighting the Cravers with fleets and invading their systems and taking out the Cravers. And we'll do that all the way over to here, man. We'll see if the Riftborn will tolerate being entwined. If they do, great. And if same with the, it's funny how the Vodiani, their area is split. They've got systems down here near their home system, but then they also have several up here. So that's kind of interesting. There's a pirate base there. So that's kind of up for grabs, maybe. If I can get entwined all the way over here, and that thing's not owned by anybody, So I'll if given the chance, I will entwine all the way around the whole galaxy. I will take down these once they're entwined. Sure, I'll capture the minor civilizations. That would be a military conquest to get them, but so be it. And so I'll bring them into my giant group hug, and then, if the Sophons will tolerate it, great. So I will entwine the entire galaxy if I have the chance. There's almost 200 turns left in the game, so that's a lot of time. So it's possible it could happen, man. It's possible. We'll see how it goes. Alternatively, maybe the Horatio will not tolerate the Vines, and they will end up going to war with me over the matter, in which case, then I'll be at war with the entire alliance of 4, and then I'll have war with all these guys, so that would be a great big mess. But that might happen. If it happens, it happens, man. Let's see. I'm going to leave these here as messages so to remind me to do the system upgrades. Oh, yeah, Forest Class Hull. All right, man, yeah. Let's take a look at that. So the Forest Class Hull is the large hull size design. Kind of like the Bastion type same size. This is the enhanced version of it. So you see there's all these nodes here that you can use if you pay the extra resources for. So first I want to do, what would the basic version of this look like? Probably have, let's see, we're going to have an engine. We're going to have an armor. We're going to have some shields. This is like the super duper ultra cheap build out. And then we would have some beams. And I think so there's the debate about the Terraco lasers raging in my head. So one of the things I like about the Terraco lasers, especially on a heavy mount, is their rate of fire is higher. So it will be less time between shots. So if I go over here, and I swap these two. I think the way I remember it, see right there, it seemed like it was the same rate of fire, like number of shots per minute or whatever. You've got, anyway. Now, the downside of that is that you have more damage at medium range, but you have less damage at long and short range. So that's kind of the minus there. Let me show where these weapon mounts are down here. So on this, you have this mount is these 4 individuals. This mount is this big mount here, and this big mount here is this one, and this is a quad mount here. You see these fire right here? Yeah. Okay, so you have 4 center line mounts, 2 of which are large heavy duty mounts right here, and 2 of which are quad individual small mounts, and then both of and then you've got a side firing like waist type here and here. So altogether you've got 4 center mounts and 2 flank mounts. Is how the thing is laid out. I would be inclined to go with the beam setup just because that way, even at long range, you're doing 82% of your damage, and then at medium is 90 and short is 97. You're just really kicking out more damage. The difference is if you had Terracos in there, you go from 14,261 to 14,893. Right, so it is more damage, but then you have a drop off in your damage percentage. So I lean towards the guaranteed steady damage thing. Is the way my brain works. So, so again, going back to the basic build. Let's see. That's movement. That's shields. That's armor. That's beams. Could go with one more shield here. And so your shields would be absorbing 15,000 damage, and your armor is absorbing a little bit less than half of this amount, which half of 34 would be 17,000. So they're both about 15,000 versus kinetic, or 15,000 versus energy, roughly. So that would be the basic low-cost version of the ship, which is actually better than the Bastion. So, for lack of a better name, I'll call that the Light Forest. Okay, and then if we went with like the Mirkwood, right, or Greenwood the Great, or whatever, if we were doing that, then and we go with one of the good armors, with the extreme orichalcics, and we go with an improved plasmal shielding type, and then we go with more shields, and we go with the engines, and then we go with a really nice smart titanium repair bots in here. So that will repair 25% hit points per battle. So that would be nice, just to kind of get some passive healing going in there, passive repairs, I guess. Then we come up with this as like the Mirkwood class design type of thing. Still 36,000 hit points, but look at that, 28,500 damage. You know, and if we were to substitute in the Terraco lasers instead, then you're at 29.7. You know, and you see the medium damage versus the long and the short there. And it's a little bit less expensive with the Terracos versus the beams. So probably something to that effect is what I'm gonna go with for my large ships. Theirs are pretty strong ships, way stronger than Bastion. I don't know. It's kind of in my. I think if I'm gonna make them, I don't know how many of these I'm gonna be losing. If it turns out I'm going to be losing a lot of them, then I'll go with a lot more of the cheap ones. But let's see, construction costs 5,000. You know, 5,000 industry, 5 adamantium, 5 antimatter, versus 7,300 industry, 5 plus 3 quadernix, 8 oracal, 6 4 Hyperium, and 8 titanium. So vastly more expensive to build the kitted out one, but it does twice the damage, right? 14 versus 28. And the defense is 22 versus 33. It's just basically 50% more defense and twice the damage for 50% more cost on industry, but also all the extra strategic costs. So most times probably the light forest would be fine. I don't know what I'm gonna maybe I'm gonna come up with a different name for that. I don't know. Maybe I'll come up with different names of those before I actually get them built, and they might show up a little differently in the next video. But that's what I'm thinking on ship designs. I may also come up with like light cruiser, and because these that's kind of a lot of resources, right? Strategic resources. So it's the same deal with the light and the fire ships. Right now I have the good ones that are using all the strategic resources, but I think maybe if it turns out I'm going to be taking losses on those because I'm at war with the whole galaxy, then maybe I'll have to. You know, I'm not going to be able to produce enough resources to just crank those things out and lose them. So then I might start going with a lighter version of them, since I can afford to lose them more easily. So that's my plans on that. Let's see. Go up another level there. Let's see the stuff we built. Okay, so we're building these system improvements that increase their trade value. I'm building this mostly in places that are along trade routes, places that have luxury resource deposits. You see, I'm making up for having not built siege ships the last time because I had forgotten. So I built a bunch of siege ships and not very many thorns. Still have a few system improvements as far as like terraforming and stuff like that happening. So I'll keep updating those, and I'll do that off camera. We do have a bunch of fleets to move around. All this stuff is where it was produced, so we'll head that stuff over in the direction of the United Empire. I don't see us having any more battles going over here. I guess I moved these fleets up here. This one from here came up here to Baton, and from BD we moved over to Zune. So we're going to kind of do that just to kind of start putting some pressure on. Let's see, what are we up to here? Good old Triad, you know. Triad, I'm really tempted to sell that Triad ship. He's not worth much, man. He's pretty weak, but you know, he's not worthless. So we're letting him hang around. He looks kind of cool, you know. He's just he's there. So I guess I can move these fleets off camera, basically, and we'll move things from Nos down to Heracles and get Heracles really earnestly sieging. And then after we get all our fleets moved, then we'll actually do the pillage at Nos. But the combat part of that's over. Populations grew. So a lot of populations are growing. Got a collection bonus for the remnant. 53, wow. Remnant law. Okay, let's go look at the remnant law. What is theirs? Yeah, this is it. Remnant. Laser-like law. Consuming absolute focus. They have an all-consuming absolute focus of the task at hand. Okay, plus 50% deposit value on strategic resource deposits. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's something that we might end up running. I did not look at that in my analysis, but maybe in a situation after, like, our laws kind of are going to change around after we have completed, you know, researching everything. Then you don't need research anymore, right? So, like, the laws that we have running that enhance research, we won't need those. So it's going to be, we won't probably be running co-op code, which boosts research per industry produced. We won't be using Cram Exam. So those will go away and they'll get replaced with something else. So I could see where maybe at that point, you know, if we have an overabundance of influence, you know, maybe we would be running My Precious, or we might be running Laser-like Law. So let's see, she leveled up. Oh yeah. +2 deposit value on strategic resource deposits. So she is at AF4. And is currently producing 6.5 titanium and 6.5 antimatter there. All right, let's see what the difference is when we pass this. Should increase it by 2. Ooh, look at that, 8.5. Yeah, +2. So, excuse me. In an endless duration game or endless speed game, I think that would probably be cut in half. It would only be a +1. But yeah, that's pretty cool. +2 really is +2. Nice. Okay, the Bagaba population boost and the Eider population boosts have come to an end. And Bagaba and Eider are 2 of the populations we don't have very many of. So I will do the spaceport trick off camera where I lift them off the system planets into the spaceports to reduce the number that are displayed. And then when I've reduced it as much as I'm able to do, then I will boost them, and then I go back through and put them all out of the spaceport back on their planets, and that gets them more likely to reproduce, and they also increases their effect. So we'll get those two boosted. We'll do that off camera. We've got a lot of work.
The purity of your motives. The Protectorate has a proposal for you.
They're offering 120 proto-orchids for an alliance. Not worth it, man. Not worth it. That would be an absolute disaster. Because if I ally with the Vodiani, I'm immediately at war with this alliance of four, and that's not what we pacifists are about, man. You know, we don't want that kind of conflict happening. Okay, so that's the decisive victory, and then we have to choose the outcome, which is going to be a pillage. We colonize Jundur and Ranas, so we'll set up those build queues off camera. And I think we're just about through the turn. Let's check these movements on these fleets. Yeah, so these guys came in here. It's like, okay, so we did not get attacked. Now what, right? I don't feel a burning need to attack the pirates. The pirate fleet may exist. The fact that they're not attacking me may be because I'm strong, you know, but it may also be that might be like some sort of quest fleet or something, and taking them out might help somebody. Might help somebody like the Cravers, which I don't really want to do. So I'll figure out what to do with these guys. They'll probably head back over this way. I'll probably move them around to try to start, attacking the Cravers civilian shipping going on. And let's see, what else do we have to look at? Pollux. Yeah, this guy, since we're done at Regulus, and that photobomber quest, that phase of it, this guy kind of doesn't really have a purpose right now. I might just like park him. I think I'm gonna just like park him out in one of these systems out here or something, and he'll just kind of chill out. And I might do that with some of these scouts that are here. Just kind of spread them around different places, maybe. I don't know. I'll figure out what to do with them. So I think that's everything that we're gonna do this turn. I'm not really going to change battle tactics. Not really going to jump into some more upgrades on this yet. I don't think it's really necessary. There is this Ministry of Truth thing. So that gives you 5% FIDZ per empires that you're at war with. So I would build that on my home system. That's 19,000 industry almost, and 80 of the Orichalcics and Quadranix. And one of these obelisks of all space-time gives you a flat +5 FIDZ per pop on this star system that it's built on. And it has a very high cost to build, and gives you system trade value and stuff like that. So that's a couple of really big, expensive projects. That's 20,000 industry. So I would probably be more inclined to build the Ministry of Truth first. So I may do that on my home system. Let's see how long it would take to build that, and let's see how long it would take to build Mirkwood. Ministry of Truth, 7 turns is what it would take. All right, and if I were to build a light forest, I can knock that out in 2 turns because they are 5,000, and my current industry equacial is 2,700. So yeah, 2 turns to build a light forest. You could just steadily crank them out. Versus Mirkwoods would probably be 3 turns, right? Yep. 3 turns every once in a while. Can get it in 2. Excuse me. All right, so I'll probably build those out of those. I'll probably build the large ships out of Koyasil. Might get one or two queued up. Might start on the Ministry of Truth, honestly. And I think I'm gonna get another fleet of vine ships going. I get another fleet of 15, handed over here to Fidus, and then start going up here, man. We'll see what happens from the Horatio point of view in the future. All right, well, I guess that's about all we've got for this episode. Thanks everybody for watching, and hopefully see you guys in the next one.